Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth episode of Hyperbaric Talks.
Yes.
This time, we are diving into something super important.
Okay.
For anyone dealing with chronic illness.
Yeah.
The power.
The power.
And the problems of exercise.
Yeah.
You've given us some really interesting research on this. So
yes.
let's unpack it together.
It is fascinating how we often hear that exercise is the key to health.
Yes.
Yet for many people with chronic conditions, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
There's a real push and pull between the benefits and the very real challenges.
I was honestly amazed when I looked at the sheer range of conditions where exercise has proven benefits.
It's amazing.
We're talking diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, joint issues, even cancer.
Wow.
Depression and fatigue.
Yeah.
It's almost like exercise is a magic bullet.
Not quite magic. But the science is pretty impressive. What's important to understand is that exercise isn't just masking symptoms. It's actually impacting the way these diseases progress.
Okay, give me an example. Something that really brings this home for our listener.
One striking example is from the study on exercise prescription for people with prediabetes.
Right.
Exercise can be just as effective as medication in preventing it from developing into full-blown type 2 diabetes. That's huge.
That is huge.
Because it means lifestyle changes can have the same impact as drugs in some cases.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why everyone isn't out there hitting the gym or going for a run, especially if they're dealing with these kinds of health challenges.
And that's where the paradox comes in.
Right.
You see, many people with chronic illness experience something called exercise intolerance.
Exercise intolerance.
Yes. Their bodies react differently to physical activity.
Right.
And it's not about laziness or a lack of motivation.
Our sources really dig into that.
Yeah.
It's like their systems are working against them.
Exactly.
Making exercise feel much harder than it should.
Right. And there are multiple reasons for this.
Okay.
One major factor is mitochondrial dysfunction.
Okay.
Mitochondria are the powerhouses of our cells, responsible for converting food into usable energy when they're not working properly, which is often the case. In chronic illness, even simple activities can feel exhausting.
It's like trying to run a marathon with a flat tire.
Exactly.
No wonder people hit a wall.
Then you add in the possibility of hidden infections that sap energy.
Oh, wow.
Immune system issues that cause inflammation and pain.
Right.
Even sensitivities to certain types of exercise. It's a complex web of factors that makes it so tough.
And it creates this catch-22, right?
Yeah.
We know exercise is good for us, potentially life-changing in some cases.
Right.
But the very act of exercising can trigger these negative reactions.
Yeah.
So what's the solution?
That's the million-dollar question, and one we'll explore further as we delve into the potential role of HBOT, or mild HBOT.
Right, because this is Hyperbaric Talks after all. So we got to ask, can HBOT help bridge that gap between the desire to exercise and the difficulty actually doing it?
It's a fascinating possibility. And while the research you provided doesn't directly address this question, we can certainly connect the dots based on what we know about HBOT's mechanisms of action.
Okay, let's connect those dots.
Okay.
You mentioned mitochondrial dysfunction earlier.
Yeah.
Does HBOT have any impact on those cellular powerhouses?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Studies have shown that HBOT can actually stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning it encourages the creation of new healthy mitochondria.
So it's not just about fixing the existing damage.
Right.
It's about potentially boosting your body's ability to produce energy in the first place.
Precisely.
Wow.
And if you think back to that car analogy, it's like giving your engine a major upgrade.
Oh, wow.
Making it more efficient and powerful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But exercise intolerance isn't just about energy, right? There's the whole inflammation piece, too.
Yeah.
Many chronic illnesses involve inflammation.
Yes.
And that can make any kind of physical activity super painful.
Absolutely. And that's another area where HBOT shows promise.
Okay.
There's compelling research demonstrating its anti-inflammatory effects.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure.
What exactly is HBOT doing to combat inflammation?
Essentially, it helps dampen the body's inflammatory response.
Okay.
Think of inflammation like a fire that's burning out of control. HBOT acts like a fire extinguisher, helping to cool things down and reduce the damage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got these two major players in exercise intolerance.
Yes.
Mitochondrial dysfunction.
Yeah.
And inflammation.
Right.
And HBOT seems to have a positive impact on both.
Does.
But is there any evidence to suggest that these effects actually translate into better exercise tolerance?
That's where the research gets a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
While there's not a wealth of studies specifically looking at HBOT and exercise tolerance, there are some intriguing clues.
All right, spill the beans.
Okay.
What are these clues telling us?
Well, for example, we know that HBOT can improve circulation and oxygen delivery to tissues.
Right.
This enhanced oxygenation could potentially help mitochondria function more efficiently, giving you more energy for physical activity.
So even if there aren't direct studies on exercise tolerance, the pieces seem to fit together.
Yeah. Okay.
And we also know that HBOT can reduce oxidative stress, which is another major contributor to inflammation and fatigue.
So it's like HBOT is tackling exercise intolerance.
Yeah.
From multiple angles.
Yeah.
Even if we don't have all the definitive answers yet.
Precisely. And that's what makes this such an exciting area of research.
Yeah.
There's so much potential here.
Yeah.
And as more studies are conducted, we'll gain a clearer understanding of just how powerful HBOT can be in helping people with chronic illness reclaim their ability to move their bodies freely and joyfully.
I'm already feeling more optimistic. But before we get too carried away, let's take a step back. And look at the practical side of things. What are some things our listeners should consider if they're thinking about incorporating HBOT into this health journey? Especially as it relates to exercise.
Good question. Well, first off, it's important to emphasize that HBOT or mild HBOT is not a quick fix.
It's most effective when it's part of a holistic approach to managing chronic illness.
So it's not like you just hop in a chamber and all your exercise woes magically disappear.
Not quite. It's about working with knowledgeable healthcare providers to develop a personalized plan that may include other therapies, lifestyle changes, and, of course, a carefully designed exercise program tailored to your individual needs and abilities.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about addressing the root causes of your condition, not just treating the symptoms.
Exactly.
But speaking of exercise, even if HBOT can help with things like mitochondrial function and inflammation, there's still the mental hurdle to overcome, right?
Absolutely.
Many people with chronic illness have had negative experiences with exercise.
Right.
So it can be scary to even try.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The fear of pushing too hard and triggering a flare-up is very real.
Right.
That's why a gradual and mindful approach to exercise is so crucial. Especially in the early stages, it's about finding that sweet spot.
Right.
Where you're challenging your body without overwhelming it.
So it's like learning to trust your body again.
Yeah.
Respecting its limits and celebrating small victories along the way.
Yes.
Our sources talk about how even everyday activities can feel like a workout for some people.
Right.
How do you know when you're ready to start incorporating?
Yeah. That's a great question.
More structured exercise?
That's where working with a therapist, like a physical therapist or an occupational therapist, can be incredibly valuable. They can assess your current level of functioning and help you create a personalized exercise plan that gradually increases your activity level in a safe and sustainable way.
I love that you brought up therapists.
Yeah.
I've found that having that professional guidance, especially when you're dealing with those mental and emotional barriers, can make a world of difference.
I couldn't agree more. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
When it comes to exercise and chronic illness. It's about finding what works best for you. And that often requires expert support and guidance.
Well said. Now, listener.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine this.
Okay.
If HBOT could make exercise feel less risky for you, what kind of activity would you be most excited to regain? Would it be going for a hike in nature? Playing a sport you love? Dancing the night away?
Right.
Take a moment to really envision that possibility.
It's a powerful thing to contemplate, isn't it? The possibilities that open up when we feel empowered to move our bodies freely and joyfully.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another crucial point.
Okay.
The role of joy in the healing process.
Ah, yes. Joy is potent medicine. And finding activities that bring you joy, whether it's gentle stretching, dancing, or something else entirely, can make all the difference in staying motivated and engaged with your health journey. So true. It's not about slogging through a workout you dread.
Right.
It's about rediscovering the pleasure of movement and finding activities that nourish your body and soul.
And sometimes that means letting go of old expectations.
Yeah.
And embracing new ways of moving your body that feel good and support your overall well-being.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. It has. We've covered so much ground, from the science behind exercise intolerance to the potential of HBOT to help bridge that gap.
Yeah.
What are some final takeaways you'd like our listener to remember?
I think the most important takeaway is this.
Okay.
Exercise is powerful medicine.
Yeah.
But it needs to be approached with nuance and personalization, especially for people with chronic illness.
It's not a one-size-fits-all prescription.
Exactly.
And pushing through pain is definitely not the answer.
Exactly. It's about listening to your body, understanding its unique responses, and working with healthcare professionals to develop a plan.
Yeah.
That's right for you. Right.
That's how you reap the rewards of exercise without triggering setbacks.
And it sounds like HBOT, or mild HBOT, has the potential to make that journey a little smoother.
Yeah.
By addressing those underlying energy and inflammation issues we talked about.
It's definitely an exciting area of research. And as more studies emerge, we'll gain an even deeper understanding of how HBOT can be best utilized to support people with chronic conditions in their pursuit of an active and fulfilling life.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about.
Good.
It's a reminder that healing is a holistic journey.
Yes.
Encompassing not just the physical, but also the mental and emotional aspects of well-being.
Absolutely.
And it's about finding that joy in movement.
Yes.
Rediscovering what our bodies can do.
Beautifully said. Joy and self-compassion.
Yeah.
Are essential companions on that path.
Couldn't agree more.
Good.
So listener, we hope this episode has empowered you.
Yes.
To approach exercise with a newfound sense of awareness. To explore the possibilities that open up.
Right.
When you prioritize your body's unique needs.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep diving deep and keep moving forward on your path to optimal health.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.